Live from the beautiful Wrestling with Regret headquarters deep inside the walk-in freezer of a local Denny's, it's the 1996 Slammy Awards review. Now here's your host, Brian Zane.
By the time you watch this video, people might still be online debating over who won or lost at this year's Oscars, or maybe even about a year-end Wrestling Awards list that was published in early February. Like many things in life, how we define the best and worst of anything is extremely subjective. But what happens when you have to celebrate the best of a year that was really bad? From a creative and business standpoint, few years were as dire for all professional wrestling as 1995. The WWF in particular was still trying to pull itself out of its post-Hulkamania rut, and now that Hogan himself had shown up in WCW and their newfangled Monday Nitro was making an impact, there was a ton of pressure to turn things around for 1996. So with one night before their biggest show of the year in WrestleMania 12, the weekend that would set in motion everything else going on for 1996, the WWF decided to give themselves a big old pat on the back for all the different ways they sucked in the last year. It seemed like such an innocent time going into the showcase of the Immortals. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart didn't totally hate each other yet. Razor Ramon and Diesel were still part of the WWF, but definitely on their way out. The New World Order was merely a stolen twinkle in Eric Bischoff's eye. And for the first time since 1987, the USA Network would air a 2-hour Slammy Awards special. But one look at this show and you might have gotten a sense as to why more people were beginning to tune the dial to TNT. This week, get the envelopes and the awards ready because it's time to revisit the 1996 Slammys 30 years later. But first, if you haven't done it yet, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and hit the bell icon to get more videos like this. Let's begin. Broadcasting live from the resplendent Anaheim Marriott Ballroom in Anaheim, California, this was a real classy affair. Wrestlers were done up in formal attire, sitting at tables mere inches away from regular fans in attendance. There was a big stage and a live band, and I think for the first time in awards show history, a live commentary team of Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler. Right off the bat, they let you know this ain't your grandpappy's awards ceremony.
There's gonna be so many foul-ups, so many blunders, you're not gonna believe it. What have you done? These people are just...
We then go to the host and the WWF's most beloved dork since Jameson, Todd Pettengill. One of his crowning achievements while he was in the company was this opening number, a big quirky medley of songs poking fun at all the wrestlers, just like what Billy Crystal had done at the Oscars for years. But you know, this isn't like other award shows.
We can plainly see those are double D. Tommy and her bees. Here's the story of a man named Bret Hart. He's the only man enough to wear pink. He's totally from Cali, a condo in the valley. He should be on Sally. He's gold dust, totally. He walks among the living, though he really is quite dead. And here's 2 words his manager, Paul Bearers, never said. I'm a fool!
Folks, there's a good reason this was cut from the VHS version of the show, and I don't think it had anything to do with copyright.
So come on, let's start the show and fire up the burner! Will you, Ted Turner?
Then the Todster continues to assert his role as the cheesiest thing about the WWF, recycling a half-century-old lawyer joke.
All the awards here tonight have been very protected by the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham and Howe.
I'm sure we do.
Hillbilly Jim and the Godwins come out next to present the award for Best Buns. Well, if Todd's song and dance didn't keep the viewers engaged, maybe this will. Each video package for the nominees was introduced by clips of wrestlers and personalities backstage saying something related to the topic, whether it made sense for them to be there or not.
Ooh, it's un grandota. We're talking perfect. Nice ass.
The nominees for this one were Goldust, Sonny, Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna, and Razor Ramon. I'm kind of surprised that the bad guy was featured on this show in any form, considering he was serving a suspension and had already given his notice that he was headed to WCW.
Gives new meaning to the term cheek to cheek. I think you're a little homophobic, man. You got that right.
What the hell was that about? So, big shocker, Sonny wins. She makes her way to the stage with Skip and Zip and... Oh, what's this? Oh! Is it me or is this live version of the Body Donna's theme kind of a jam.
I bet you'd all like to take a peek and see why I won Best Buns.
Yeah, whatever. Play the song again.
Sans me out, McMahon. You did out to where? No, I was in a room. Oh, I see.
Up next, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and the recently renamed Stone Cold Steve Austin take the stage to present. Let's see what one of wrestling's most charismatic stars of all time has to say.
The nominees for Best Slammin' Jammin' Entrance are...
What? The Best Entrance Award is prefaced by a montage of Duke Droese mimicking some of the classic wrestler poses. Duke's nickname was the Dumpster, which is pretty appropriate considering that's where he belongs.
Look out! Oh my goodness! Oh my! Oh yeah!
The WWF's least popular top babyface in Shawn Michaels won the award, and he began his acceptance speech with the kind of subtle, sophisticated humor that Vinnie Mac loves.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy. Sorry about that, wrong show.
He promised that the entrances he'd made in the past would be nothing compared to Wrestlemania the following night, and as it turned out, he was very correct. Wow, maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps this awards show will be different. How different, you might ask? Well,
I'll own you someday too. Yeah.
if you were unlucky enough to have seen the Coliseum video version of the '96 Slammies, you might have noticed the show's runtime had been padded with all those idiotic Billionaire Ted Wrestling War Room skits, featuring bumbling parodies of Ted Turner, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Gene Okerlund. At the time, WCW wasn't dominating the Monday Night Ratings war yet, but things were heating up fast. But instead of, I don't know, trying to make their own product better, the company spent gobs of time, money, and manpower on these bits that took shots at the same talent they just spent years building as huge stars, all while accusing WCW of doing things unfairly or dishonestly, as though Vince's own rise to power didn't come from his own use of cutthroat business tactics. Also, that is such a Vince McMahon deflection. Hey, don't look at our shitty booking or our own in-house scandals. Have you heard that the Macho Man's going bald? I guess the WWF loved these sketches so much they just had to be immortalized on VHS somewhere, and since Billionaire Ted and friends actually show up on this special, maybe these sketches are here for additional context. Like anyone asked, but I'm rambling a bit. Back to the Slammies. The next award was sponsored by Tyco RC Maximum Heat, as some random office guy came out with Bob Backlund to present. I love how Backlund's whole thing is using 2-bit words in his promos, then he screws up the name of the award itself.
I'm not here to exacerbate you this evening. I'm not even gonna flummox you. The stick the fork in the award, he's done.
Bret Hart won the award for Best Finisher, put over his dad's stew, and cut a quick promo on Shawn for their impending Iron Man match at WrestleMania.
Tomorrow in the 60-minute Iron Man match, that I'll prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm everything that I say that I am. I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, Bret, that will most definitely not be it. Speaking of the Harts, one of my favorite things about this whole special is hearing Jerry's voice go up an octave as he cackles with glee anytime one of Bret's parents are shown.
Oh my goodness!
What do you mean?
There's Helen! I didn't know she was here!
Oh, wait.
Oh,
And
look,
at the
there's
same
Helen!
time,
Hey, did your Undertaker
I
know
can
you got
safely
up?
Much like how the Oscars handle the Best Original Song category, the Slammies showcased some of the nominees for Best Music Video in individual segments, like Tell Me a Lie. Ugh, babyface new gen Shawn is the worst! Up next, Jim Cornette and Clarence Mason presented the award for Crime of the Century, won by Vader for his attack on Gorilla Monsoon right after the Royal Rumble. You have to appreciate the Mastodon's choice of sneakers to go with his tux on this night. Then in a bit of network synergy, out come the stars of the USA Network's new show Pacific Blue to present the new sensation of the Squared Circle Award. Marty Jannetty looks thrilled to be there, and so do the actors.
Actually, you know what? Driving down here, we didn't quite know why we were coming here.
In a surprisingly stacked category featuring Savio Vega, Goldust, and Isaac Yankem, Ahmed Johnson took home the award.
First of all,
The Pearl River powerhouse thanked the fans for their support, then went into a rant no doubt inspired by the Billionaire Ted Skits he'd been seeing on programming for weeks.
We are not some toupee-wearing wannabe.
Talking about you, McMahon.
Buying up toy soldiers, trying to make a federation. We are the federation.
What's that, you say? You want even more Billionaire Ted? Well, now you get to see him in the flesh, continuing the same tired lines.
I know the WWF's not for sale, but can't blame a billionaire for trying, yeah.
Do you ever wonder how different the wrestling world might be today if Vince McMahon ever went to therapy? Time for the award for the biggest mouth, which went to the King. Jim Ross was also up for the award, but considering everyone else nominated was an obnoxious heel, it kind of felt like a dig at him. Whoever staged this show is an asshole for making Lawler take the longest walk possible from the announce desk to the podium to accept his award.
And when you get Helen Hart, who gets her tongue stuck in a toaster trying to make French toast, I tell it.
Boy, we sure have run the gamut of dull, haven't we? It's a good thing there's only 60 minutes left of this show. Our next presenters are Wink Collins, an occasionally seen personality played by longtime WWF director Kerwin Silfies, and some lady. They're here to present the awards for Best Threads and the Blue Light Special. Ol' HBK won his second Slammy of the night for having the best gear, as in ring attire, of course, not the other stuff. Remember, the WWF does drug testing. The bad old WCW doesn't. Ooh.
Will you, Ted Turner?
Then he gave the trophy to WWF seamstress Julie Youngberg. Well, that was nice of him. Then Jim Cornette won the award for the worst dressed personality, which was received warmly by Doc Hendricks. And the Louisville Slugger certainly noticed the irony.
You of all people got a lot of stinking nerve for giving me an award for bad clothing. Let me tell you people something right now.
Our next guest presenter, who has seen the movie The Birdcage 16 times, please welcome Gold Dust.
Do you get it?
It's for the World Wrestling Federation's greatest hits, and the nominees are...
Gold Dust, buddy, it's a catered event. There's no need to eat the microphone. The next award is for the WWF's greatest hit, a Super El Kabong by Jeff Jarrett, Diesel launching Bret Hart into a table, Yokozuna squashing two jobbers at once, Triple H shoving a jobber in the way of Duke Drozie's trash can, and The Undertaker dragging Diesel to hell. Not quite a hit, but okay, good enough for him to win the Slammy. You've heard him say nice ass, but are you ready to hear the dead man show some somewhat candid gratitude?
We would like to thank the creatures of the night and all of the fans of the World Wrestling Federation.
Creatures.
Then cringe along with the rest of America as Taker tries to save his first marriage on this fake awards show.
In the darkness of uncertainty, JLC, you were always on my mind.
Dead man walking. After they show Bret Hart's You Start the Fire video, the next Slammy is for Best Manager, presented by a real celebrity, the Executive Vice President of Programming for the USA Network, Rod Perth.
Thank you, Todd. First of all, I gotta say, USA Network is proud, absolutely. It's home of the WWF, the Wrestling Federation.
Yes, Rod, we know the WWF's the only real wrestling organization. We've been hearing that a lot tonight.
Will you, Ted Turner?
The nominees for this category included Paul Bearer, Jim Cornette, Ted DiBiase. Yeah, right. Like he's gonna win the Best Manager award. Sunny and Mr. Fuji. Since '95 was a big year for Sunny with more success on the way, it made sense for her to take home the award. But whether you love her or you hate her, do you know what really matters? We get to hear that kick-ass theme again. Bum, bum, bum. It's time to get sappy, slappy, as Vince McMahon himself takes the stage to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Classy Freddie Blassie, the man with the distinction of looking no younger than 45 for his entire career.
This honor means so much to the McMahon family. This honor goes to a man who truly is classy.
Gee, look at Vince showing emotion over another human being like that. The guy can feel after all. You see, folks, Vince isn't a sociopath. He's just really fucked up.
For all the wonderful things that I've
It's Arnold
have
Skolin.
received gratis
The animal.
through the WWF.
Pat Patterson.
Thanks, Jerry. You're being really helpful. The hits continue for the King when he wins the award for Most Embarrassing Moment at King of the Ring 95. But can we talk for a second about the Bushwhackers presenting this? First of all, how the hell were these guys still around in 96? Second, why do they move like cursed animatronics? And third, why did I still find their punchline here so good?
The Slammy is...
Hasn't blitzed.
Who knows what's going to happen?
You were going to embarrass me.
So anyway, Lawler wins the award, then once again has to do the long walk from the desk to the stage where he gets his mic cut and endures some Burger King jokes. Peak Federation humor, everybody. They show off Sonny's music video next, and speaking of people with long blonde hair and tight-fitting clothes...
You simply shake on the pen and blow away powder, sit in front of an ordinary household fan, and blow your weight away!
Can somebody explain what on earth the Playboy Buddy Rose blow-away diet skit was doing in the middle of this show? This wasn't something thrown into the home video release like Billionaire Ted. This was on the live broadcast too. But why? The blow-away diet aired in 1990. Buddy hadn't been with the company for years at this point. It'd be like if WWE today did a Slammy Awards for last year, and then in the middle of that they stopped to go, hey, remember when Dax Harwood had his back shaved, or when Drake Maverick pissed himself? We go back to the ceremony, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley is rocking his finest Fabio follicles alongside some lady who isn't Sable.
I have a bigger ballroom than this in my mansion. Hunter Hearst Helmsley has the biggest balls in his ballroom.
You deserve the Ultimate Warrior. Shawn Michaels' in-ring collapse wins the Slammy for Most Shocking Moment of the Year, but the H-Man awards the trophy to Owen Hart, who, despite technically not being nominated, gets the full lights and live music treatment when he comes to the stage. Amazing.
One of you people help me. Not you, Dad, not you, Mom, and certainly not you, my lousy brother, Bret.
It's so nice to see Helen and Julie Hart all smiles for Owen as he heals on them. Mr. Perfect and his kick-ass entrance music's out next to present the Master of Mat Mechanics. Shawn wins once again in a category that included both Bret and Owen Hart, so what the hell are we even doing?
I once again would like to give this award to somebody that taught me everything that I know, had me on the mat more times I can possibly remember. Not you, Sonny. Sit down.
Good Lord, Shawn's a dick. It's time for Doc, Michael, P.S. Hayes, Hendricks to take the stage and present the award for the best music video of 1995.
There's hip-hop.
I am way better looking than Madonna.
There's classic rock.
We're the ones that invented rock and roll.
Huh? It's another win for the Hitman on this night, who took the stage with his son Blade. Now it's his turn again to cut a promo.
Tomorrow night,
Dysfunctional.
Look at that kid.
You're gonna think that those 9 cheerleaders that beat you up in Syracuse, New York, you're gonna think that that was breakfast at Tiffany's.
At this point in the VHS release, they're showing the vignettes of the Huckster and the Nacho Man training for their big pre-taped comedy match that happened on the Wrestlemania pre-show. And now it appears they've recast the Huckster from the earlier War Room sketches. I guess the first guy figured this gig wasn't gonna work for him. Hey look everyone, Hulk Hogan is old! Isn't it hilarious that we told you he was king shit up until about 2 years ago? These Billionaire Ted skits may have been a huge waste of programming, and they made Vince McMahon look like an all-time petty loser, but I will say this, at least the fake Mean Gene had the cadence down.
Kenny Loggins said it best, this is it.
Now it's time for the US West Match of the Year, and when 3 of the nominees are Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow, the Hog Pen match from In Your House, and a tuxedo match with Howard Finkel and Harvey Whippleman, how is this company not officially fucked? Things are getting a bit ridiculous as Shawn wins his 4th Slammy of the evening, technically his 5th if you count the collapse, then issues his own rebuttal.
For me, this business is not about dividing the fans into my fans, his fans. Hitman, whether you like me, whether you don't like me, whether you're bitter or not, tomorrow you and I are going to put that ladder match and every other match in the history of this business to shame.
Gorilla Monsoon is back from his injury at the hands of Vader to present the first ever interactive Slammy Award. All night on the live broadcast, they posted a 900 number for people to call and vote on which past or present WWF champion in attendance was Hall of Fame bound. A silly question in hindsight, since everyone on the list is in it today. But they at least got some money out of it. Now it's Bret's turn to win another award and cut another Fuck Shawn Michaels promo.
It's a great feeling to have been the World Wrestling Federation champion. It's indescribable. And unfortunately for Shawn Michaels, I don't think you're ever going to get to find out what that feeling is.
Here to promote his new straight-to-VHS movie and to present the final award of the evening for Leader of the New Generation is pink shirt variant Roddy Piper, who came out onto the stage with his son Colt. You can tell they're pressed for time because Vince is trying to telepathically beg Piper to stop talking so they can go to the nominees.
Just give an award for the Leader of the New Generation.
Let's get to the nominees.
Because if you were not,
the nominees, please.
we wouldn't be here, would we, guys?
All right, let's go to the nominees, ladies and gentlemen.
Gosh golly gee, Shawn Michaels wins again, but by the time he takes the stage, it's already time to wrap it up. You can even hear the director in Vince's ear counting down from 10.
Yeah, this actually, this is really a cool thing.
We're going to have to break, ladies and gentlemen.
It's happening, folks.
Yes, thank you for joining us tonight on the Slammy. So long, everybody.
And those were the 1996 Slammy Awards. What a return to form for the Federation. The company did it again 1 year later, the night before Mania 13, then completely abandoned the idea for 11 years. But we'll talk about 1997 at a later date. The Slammies are a fun concept, but after Todd's opening number, the show was sorely lacking in variety. Seeing Bret and Shawn having to keep going up to the stage to repeat themselves grew tiresome, even for die-hard fans of both guys. Also, considering this was the final push before WrestleMania, besides making it the Shawn Michaels show, they did a very bad job at doing that. Do you know what the show could have used to keep moving? More musical numbers. Where's Jimmy Hart to sing Girls with Cars when you need him? Vince didn't have a sequel to Stand Back ready to go? And God forbid you watch the VHS version of the show, lest you be reminded again and again just how easily gotten to Vince McMahon was about Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff taking some of his audience. The home video version of the Slammies promoted the Huckster Nacho Man match more than the freaking Iron Man match. But in a twist, they did predict how the rest of '96 would go.
Well, go out there and buy me some of those WWF Generation Superstars.
Anyway, the Slammies were a boring mess that obviously ran too long. Maybe if they had one or two fewer awards, or if Todd cut the opening medley in half, or they didn't show a random comedy vignette from 6 years earlier, they wouldn't have been in that mess.
Screw you, Ted Turner!
But what did you think of the '96 Slammies? What would you award the best and worst moments to? Let me know in the comments section. I'm Brian Zane, and the winner of this delicious soda for a job well done on this video is me! See you next time, everyone. Ba, ba, ba.
JCW presents Stranglemania. GCW's Collective at Horseshoe Casino, April 17, 2026. With the lineup that'll even make your grandmother wet. JCW Stranglemania will be the biggest thing to hit Nevada since the A-bomb. And unlike when your grandma visited, there won't be piss on the sheets when they leave. Well, hopefully not. JCW Stranglemania is a featured event, part of GCW's Collective, which means they kick ass and they're respected throughout professional wrestling. And if your favorite JCW wrestler ain't at this event, chances are he's in traction. And if he's not in traction, well, he's probably dead. Sorry to break it to you. Because this event's lineup will be the creme de la creme. That's French for the best, for those of you who are ignorant. Once upon a time, there were heroes. Good versus evil. But at JCW, there are no heroes. It's only survival of the fittest. So go thieve some tickets, or you can buy them at jcwlv.eventbrite.com.